Today we will continue with good morning to all. Today we need to continue with the previous class discussion that yesterday I think you all remember that we start with the salient features of the Constitution, and after the salient features of the Constitution we directly enter into the two topics. One is we started with Article 1 to 4. This was the previous class, Article 1 to 4. And in this 1 and 4, while discussing about Article 1, we directly discuss about what is the meaning for Bharat and India. Okay. And while discussing about Article 4, the 2 and 3, regarding this 2 and 3, whatever we are doing, it is not considered as amendment. So that was the thing we discussed yesterday, Bharat and India, first point. Second, that Article 4 is talking about 2 and 3 is not an amendment. And while discussing about 2, whatever the ideologies, we got it in the name of external factors. The way the state as well as other things we acquired are the state which already existed. So whatever the things you are taking from outside, in a simple manner if you want to say, that is external things. And the third one is, that is internal adjustment. So the way how we formed a state with the help of taking one state, other state combining, or taking 2-3 states, or taking part of the state, or more part of the state, and one territory and part of the state, and one territory and the state. This is the way we combine certain things. That is called as internal adjustment. So this is the way we discussed about the previous class. And after that directly we went to the ideas related to Article 5 to 8. Okay. So what are the conditions regarding this domicile, citizenship, and the date also? Okay. But that is not necessary. But the main ideology is that while discussing about this, the main ideology is based on the simple logic of 2-1. One is the amendment bill, constitutional amendment bill, or the citizenship amendment bill 2016. There we discussed two conditions about this 2016 bill. One is, the first condition is regarding minorities from neighborhood countries. Not neighborhoods completely, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan. And second condition is the 6 years period. Before it was 11 and now reduced into 6 years. So this is the way yesterday we got some idea. And I missed one point also that we need to discuss today about this NRC, National Register for Citizen. It was the recent things recently created some kind of controversy. Based on that, some idea may come, because according to this NRC, the people are very clear about this NRC on the basis of one particular point, that is the year, date, March 1971, 24th. So 24th March 1971. The way the 24th March 1971 was celebrated by Bangladesh people as an Independence Day. The same way, we are also fixing a deadline. The person who migrated before and after, these are all considered as eligible citizens for, but while moving into this India after or before 24 March 1971, one condition is there, whether you are having a valid documentation in order to enter into India or not. If you are having that valid documentation, so what are those valid documentation? The 14 documents listed by, I think they not started there putting. The 14 document listed by the 14 document listed by the government. So based on that, the government also said so many things that what are the qualification and condition. So based on that, you can able to make the ideology of citizenship. Okay, just that point you can write it down. Then I will continue with a new topic, that is Preamble. That is the topic today we are going to discuss. So today's topic, the beginning, NRC, National Register of Citizens. National Register of Citizens. National Register of Citizens. Now it is audible and clear to everyone, I don't know. Take it down. Point number 1. NRC is a list of Indian citizens in Assam. NRC is a list of Indian citizens in Assam It's a list of citizens in Assam. Full stop and continue. These are people who are proved that these are people who are proved P-R-O-V-E-D who are P-R-O-V-E-D proved that they are their ancestors entered into Assam. They or their ancestors entered into Assam before 24th March 1971. Before 24th March 1971, when Bangladesh got independence. Second point. The NRC exists only in Assam. The NRC exists only in Assam through Assam Accord 1985. Only in Assam through Assam Accord 1985. Third point. A first draft of NRC. A first draft of NRC was made in 1951. A first draft of NRC was made in 1951 in Assam. After 1951 census. A first draft of NRC was made in 1951 in Assam after the 1951 census. Here, what do you know about census? I think you already done in economy, na? Some basics you are having. Good, very good. So, what do you know about census? Because last year only the government of India accepted first time that census 2011, that was till the time, was a provisional data. But in 2017 August after, it became a proper census data. One idea. And 2017-18 after that, the government of India also announced a socio-economic, the caste-based census in that 10% quota. And if you are going to see in fundamental right, I will say that the quota should not be on the basis of economic, only in terms of social justice, not economic justice. But suddenly, now the government introduced this quota, but no one said anything against. Court accepted, everyone accepted. In 1990s, when Narasimha Rao gave the same idea, 5% to 10%, and the court dismissed that ideology. But right now, nobody said anything against it. Even people started giving reservation in so many examinations. So, the census is the most important ideology. You will study in economy, you will study in geography, you will study in polity also now and then. Because in political science point of view, in polity point of view, regarding the census, there are few important ideas are there. So you can side by side note it on all the points what we are discussing inside the class. Because I already in the first class I told, nowadays the questions are simply, first part is static, like a fundamental right, Article 21, something like that. And the second point, the background of the fundamental right. You need to know the GK of the fundamental right. The third point, it is simply based on the recent development. For this case, this idea, it came recently. This is right or wrong or something like that. So you need to know the background. We are simply saying that, the idea related to census. When it first time came into existence in this world, not in world, only in India we will consider. Any idea you are having? Census. 1951, after that, independence. So generally the census in British India, when it came, so it was the time in 1881. During the time of census is the population survey, very good. Census is the quantitative and quantitative data about the citizen, very good. So like this manner, it was in 1881 during Lord Curzon, because we are only connecting polity and history right now. The first scientific census came into exist. But if you are saying census as a population survey, first census, a non-scientific census came into exist during 1872 when Lord Mayo was the Governor General of India. So two idea, when Lord Mayo, M-A-O-E, was the Governor General of India, India first time gave some ideology, received some ideology in the name of unscientific, non-scientific census. And in 1881, the first scientific census came into exist. In this criteria, if you are seeing that, this 1881 census is a scientific one and non-scientific one. Why they created this one? The background is, first time Lord Mayo introduced a financial devaluation, a financial decentralization for 4 important departments. So if I want to give money to you, I need to know about your data very clearly. How many people are here, how the way you are functioning, what about your locality, all the things. So before going to give money, I want to collect all kind of information about you. So Mayo started the first census, and that is non-scientific census, and Lord Ripon, who introduced the local self-government that we will study later in Panchayat Raj, who immediately started the scientific census. So through this scientific data, we can able to align, this is Panchayat, this is municipality, this is a big corporation, like this ideology. And after that, slowly and steadily, every year, every 10 years once, people started giving census since 1881 onwards. But until 1931, they did everything on the basis of economic as well as social. A socio-economic caste-based census happened in 1881 to 1931. 1931, British realized that, okay, if we are leaving the caste-based census, maybe after independence, the Indian people may misuse this particular data. For that purpose, that 31 is the last time in the Indian history before independence, they took socio-economic caste-based census. Then after that, they completely stopped. Then 41, 51, 61, 71, 81, 91, 2001, all are same economic census only, not caste-based census. But again, in 2011, after independence or after 1931, that was the first time caste-based census reintroduced India inside. So what is the main purpose? Previously, they took some economic reservation. Court striked it. On what condition you are defining the concept of economy? We can't be able to answer the question. They said, no, don't give economic reservation. But in 2011 census, the socio-economic caste-based census happened. Now I am having a data to define what is your economic status, what is your caste in a clear manner. So now I can able to avail all information regarding census. Suppose questions are coming in a very, very different manner. For example, few years ago, when Operation Polo, there was an ideology regarding this unification of Hyderabad. The Indian police took an action in the name of Polo, P-O-L-O, Polo, and that was the initiation to unification of Hyderabad. And the same year on other side, Polo is a modern game, originated in Manipur, India, and migrated into so many places and become very strong in this world. But UPSC asked a question, which of the following king who died while playing polo? That is Chauhan, horse polo. And they gave 4 kings in their name in medieval period. And they asked, everybody thought that, okay, UPSC is going to ask something regarding this, either a polo or the Manipur 125 year celebration is going on regarding this origin of modern polo, horse polo, and we expected some question, and they went to ancient history, medieval history, and while playing Chauhan or horse polo, the Hupuddin Aibak is the one who died. If you are opening medieval India, the first page itself in the Sultanate period, it is there in the answer is there in the page. Okay. So the way, instead of asking these kind of things, a common ideology regarding economic census or caste-based census, UPSC may ask a question. When was the first time the caste-based census is an ideology we realized inside India? A very simple question. 1931? No, that was the last time that we stopped. First time when we realized it, some evidence is there. Okay, we took caste-based census. 1881 we are saying that. Someone will say, no, 1878 itself. But then ideology is that when Akbar the Great was ruled India, and his court poet Abul Faisal, he wrote one book in the name of Aini Akbari. It is the only scientific evidence we are having in our hand that even before British, the Indian took a caste-based census. So only evidence we are having. In Aini Akbari, everything is clearly mentioned there. The Rajputana states, the Marwar, Mewar and some surrounding areas, they properly took caste-based census in order to calculate their own people. So that was the first scientific evidence regarding caste-based census. But in modern times, 1881 onwards, and before independence, it was the last time in 31, and after independence, 2011 is the beginning. So this is the way the census is an ideology happening inside India. Okay. And if you want to know about the facts and figure inside census, that is a yearbook based ideology or geography based population geography, not related to polity. You refer there itself. Okay, come, next point. The first draft of NRC was made in 1951 in Assam after 1951 census. Full stop and continue. It is being updated. It is being updated as per a Supreme Court directive. It is being updated as per Supreme Court directive in 2013. In 2013. Next point. Many of the genuine Indians whose name are not in NRC list due to lack of knowledge will deprive of their rights. Not against the human rights. Yes, that is the most important query right now. Everybody is saying that there was a military major and honorary captain. Yes. So both husband and wife or only a husband? Only wife who lost it. There is another case some recently 2 days before it also came there. The husband is working inside border areas and the wife is staying in Assam. Now while traveling some kind of festivals regarding that happened, and the person who is working in border forces lost his citizenship and the wife is having the citizenship. So what kind of things we are going to do? So many scholars, even the people who served India in various places during 1971 war, 65 war, who also made a honorary captain to the Indian army, a very popular social writers, the people who really struggling to unify the northeastern community, etc., now lost their citizenship. So, is it the case of human right violation? Means definitely as a human, if it happened to my family only, I can able to feel that pain, and if I am a bureaucrat, I will simply strictly follow the rule bound methodology. I won't bother about right or human right, because in India that is a major important problem. You are a policy maker but you don't have code of ethics. Code of conduct only defined with the help of ARC. There is no document in India. There is no document in India in order to strengthen the idea of code of ethics. That is a huge problem or huge deficit or mistake we are having right now. Can you able to identify one code of ethics document, a legal code of ethics document for Indian people as well as civil servant? No. Code of conduct, okay, how to behave, how to do, how all the things are there. But ethics is the most important thing. Right now we are having in our syllabus after 2013, but in practicality, code of ethics no more defined. So no one is going to bother about this human rights. Everyone is bothered about what is rules are saying there, what is the direction of Supreme Court. If there is a necessary, I will follow it. Otherwise, I will follow government order. We are having lot of example. You can have the anti-defection law inside Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Totally different for different cases. Okay. So according to the question, I'm saying that, yes, it is the problem. The government is trying right now. Government is making some kind of move in order to remove all this kind of plight. And the Supreme Court of India gave a very clear guidelines. Don't coerce people. Don't force people regarding NRC list. If someone is not there, don't force them. My idea right now at the time of 2019, I don't want to give voting right for those people. So only the voting right we touched. Remaining things, government said that we are not going to take any action. But according to this Assam Accord 1985, they said we need to deport all people. But India and Bangladesh doesn't have any kind of agreement which we are able to deport people. That time it was the British government, so they deported to Burma, deported to here and there. Now we don't have any agreement. Bangladesh never accepted all the immigrants or migrants or illegal entry people belongs to Bangladesh. They are simply saying, you are sending your people only, they are not my people. So the conclusion is, Assam is planning a confinement, a detention camp, if you want to say that exactly, like how the way the Hitler did it. That detention camp they are planning. I don't know how it is going to, because India is not on the basis of, Indian ideas are not on the basis of only the rules and regulation. We are also practicing certain things in the name of due process of law, not only procedure established by law. If you are talking due process of law, I will answer your question. Yes, human rights concerns are there in India. So Supreme Court is a guardian of Indian Constitution. Supreme Court is a final interpreter of the Constitution. So Supreme Court only can able to take some decision. The matter is in court. So we can discuss up to this level, not beyond the entry of jurisdiction of court. Okay, note it down. The NRC list 14 documents. NRC list 14 document called legacy data. NRC list 14 documents called legacy data. That can be submitted. That can be submitted as proof of citizen. As proof of P-R-O-O-F. It's a proof of citizenship. Provided P-R-O-V-I-D-E-D. Provided they were issued I-S-S-U-E-D. They were issued. Provided they were W-E-R-A. They were issued before 24th March 1971. They were issued before 24th March 1971. Last point. The Supreme Court has directed the central government, the Supreme Court has directed the central government not to take any forcible action, not to take any forcible action before, not to take any forcible action against people who did not enter in the NRC list. People who did not enter in the NRC list. Okay. So this is the condition right now. Don't take any very coercive, forcible action right now. Let us discuss further. We will decide later. Something like that is an ideology regarding. Okay. Every 10 years census happens. 2021. Okay, very good. So now we need to enter into preamble. Okay. So when was the first time you heard something about preamble? Anywhere? Anytime before this class we discussed about preamble? Only 3 classes we met. First, second, this is the third time I am meeting you. Okay. No, I am asking in this class. You came. I am asking other people that is there any time before this class I use the word preamble? Okay, very good. Before that, first day, 1919 Government of India Act. While I discussing various acts starting from 1773, I told first point, write it down, preamble, put a hyphen and write decentralized form of unitary government. That was the first time I used the word preamble. Yes? Questions are coming like this. Where we borrowed preamble? USA. But the ideology of preamble is existing in India before independence itself, starting from option number A, 1909, 1919, 1935, 1893 Act. Then what is your answer? 1919 Government of India Act. There, the idea of preamble first time came into exist even before. Because why I am discussing about this particular point, UPSC already asked same kind of features on the basis of 1935 Government of India Act. One time UPSC asked. Okay. So now, while discussing about the preamble, what is preamble? In what way I am going to use the preamble? Is preamble is part of India or not? If it is part of India, then I can able to go for amendment or not? These are the very common ideology and the criticism as well as the discussion happening inside. But while discussing about preamble, preamble is an ideology, preamble is the most important features inside Indian Constitution, even though it is not properly inserted, even though it is not part of the original Constitution. If you want to say that, suppose if you want to go to buy a book, a novel in bookshop, the most of the people will do that. Simply they will open the novel and see the content of the novel, and they will just see there are a lot of headings are there. On the basis of that, how the way in a very interesting manner the novel is going on. And some other people, very smart people will be there. They go to the last page. There is a description about the novel, so they will simply read it and they will do. Even some other people will go there and the forward will be written by so and so, so and so, so and so. They will read that and other things. And someone after buying, they won't bother about anything, just take the novel and they will read the front page and they will go to the last page, conclusion they will do, and slowly whenever they are having time, they will read the novel. They will read the introduction and conclusion. Then what is the interest? People's mindset is different. Someone will read back and someone will content, someone will do. So the same way I want to know about the Constitution. The Constitution is a book in a simple format. It is a book, a legally codified living organic document, which was given to me by the founding fathers at the time of 26th of November 1949 when they enacted the Constitution. Certain provisions came in my hand. And when India became a republican form of government in 26th January, the remaining ideology also has given to me. I have started using this Constitution. While going to use this Constitution, I am a layman, I know only limited area. Even though I am an educated personality, I don't have that much of capability to understand the concept like preamble, the concept like Constitution and the fundamental directives and various principles, because these things are properly done on the basis of the legal, the vocabularies of legality is existing more. Even though I am an educated, not able to understand the constitutional provisions properly, so I am having lot of doubt regarding Constitution. To whom I can able to ask? Immediately I can take a call and I can call Mr. Ambedkar and Mr. Rajaji and Rajendra Prasad and Nehruji, all those people who really worked in the Constitution, in the drafting committee, so I can able to ask them. But in reality, after 56, after 77, after 89, after 90s, nobody was existing. Everybody. So I am having a doubt still now at the time of 2000. I need to know what is the provisions inside the constitution, what kind of meaning it is giving. I am completely in a dark room. I am not able to see anything inside this class. So I need a searchlight. If once the light goes off, I will immediately take a torchlight in order to see how whatever the objects are existing here, how I can able to walk inside this class. Everything should be in a clear manner. If I am having a searchlight and I want to enter into this class, but the door is completely locked. If I am having a key, I just use the key and I can able to enter into the class. So no one need to wait. So these are the two important things. Preamble is acting like a key to the Constitution of India. If I want to open what is there inside the constitution, then I am using preamble as a tool. Based on this tool, I am opening a constitution. I can able to understand, okay, this is the provision for this purpose. This is the area for this purpose. So everything in a very clear manner. So it is easy for me. It is a complete dark room. I want to search something inside down. So I am using a searchlight in a dark places. Preamble is a it's a searchlight in a dark places. Preamble is giving some kind of meaning and strength to Indian people. In America, judiciary is supreme. In UK, parliament is supreme. India, it is a it is a blend of rigidity as well as flexibility on one side. The parliamentary sovereignty, judicial supremacy, both are existing in India. But I will say in a different way. Even though all kind of procedures are existing, parliament is not supreme like the way United Kingdom. In India, constitution is really having a superiority. Constitution is supreme, then Parliament of India judiciary. So constitution is ultimate. I want to know this constitution. Only with the knowledge of preamble only I can able to see the constitution clearly. That is the supreme body here. While I am using the supreme body and the supreme body is saying that you use preamble in order to understand me. While opening a preamble is saying that we the people of India. So the preamble is giving, in India constitution is supreme, but the preamble is giving some kind of meaning. Through this constitution, you and me are the real supreme power. It is not like America or USA. In India, constitution is supreme. The way how you are using preamble is permitting you to have some kind of power. That power is, we the people of India are real power, supreme sovereignty, and some kind of ideology we are having. On the basis of the preamble only, I can able to say that we all are supreme. How we are supreme? If the government is making mistake, every 5 years I am using my finger, okay, once the ink touched my hand, I will overthrow the autocratic government and a fascist government, I will bring democratic government. So this is an ideology I am having in my mind, and based on that I can able to say that, okay, I have done my constitutional duty, so I am supreme. But in reality, theoretically I am speaking, but in reality that is different. Okay, so while discussing the ideology of preamble, I said it is a searchlight, first point over. It is giving some kind of meaning to see in a dark places. It is a key to the constitution in order to know what is existing inside. What kind of Gandhian principle, what kind of idealistic way, what kind of liberties are existing, justice and fraternity is existing here. Everything I can able to see here. But while handling this preamble, there is another meaning also we can able to give it with the help of modern times. Supreme Court is a final interpreter to the Constitution. Supreme Court is a guardian to the Constitution. Through preamble, we the people are real power. Through preamble, Supreme Court is acting like a guardian to the Indian Constitution, and exactly they are having the doctrine of interoperability, a doctrine of interpretation. Supreme Court is able to do. They are the final interpreter of the Constitution. How they will interpret the Constitution in a very simple manner. The way Supreme Court is using preamble to see so many various provisions inside the preamble, like it is talking about sovereign. We the people of India are the real sovereign. We all are individual. We are having sovereignty completely. We are the powerful one. No one forced me to sit here. You are completely independent to sit and listen the classes. When you are feeling very bored, you can walk out. No one is going to force, because this is the democratical based class, that is polity class. Okay, complete democracy is existing in my class, by the students, for the students, of the students. But a student is keep on disturbing me. I am having another 3 options. Instead of using by, for and of, I will buy people. Once by, I will far away from my responsibility, and still a person is keep on troubling me, I will off them permanently. That is 2.0 and 1.0. If the question is regarding the democratical features inside preamble, democratical feature inside the constitution, democracy about India, then you can see that according to Abraham Lincoln, by the people, for the people, of the people. So this is the meaning only the preamble also giving to me. But if the question is regarding critically examine, critically analyzing, critically comment, then I can able to give according to the question. They are buying people, by the way, paying money to people in order to get vote. They are once purchased their vote, they don't want to go to the constituency to fulfill their duty. They are far away from the constituency. They only reside in Delhi, Parliament and around the places. And still a person is keep on asking RTA, other various things. They will off the person permanently. So this is the way democracy 2.0, by the people changed into buying people, for the people changed into far away from the people, of the people changed into off the people. So a critically examined part you can use it. In essay part you can use it. But otherwise, if the question is simply discuss, write, elucidate, substantiate, you have to write. This is the best format of democracy in this world. Democracy is the best mean we can able to understand with the help of the preamble, the way it is existing inside India. Like this manner you need to. Depend upon the question, student need to change their stand. You should not write your own thing. Suppose in mains examination, critically comment, critically analyze, critically examine. Then how you will write? This is the best format. First write some positive points. You always start with the positive. Then go for some negative comment, little more. Then give your suggestion, way forward. Okay. You are having every right to give your own opinion and suggestion and way forward at the time of critically comment and critically examine and critically analyze. But the question is only comment and analyze and examine, just to give positive and negative. Don't do anything more than that. You don't have any authority to talk about that. You don't have any authority to give suggestion here. And the question is regarding write, discuss and ordinary things. Then like how the way you are writing history, constitution. What is constitution? You are simply writing constitution is a legally codified living document. What is there in your textbook? You just write it. If the question is simply in the manner of elucidate or substantiate, then your answers will be elucidate and substantiate is nothing but give some kind of example to prove the statement. You don't have any right to do on your own way. Just strictly with your answers should be strict towards the question, and according to the question you just to prove it with the help of example. That is elucidate and examine, and things will get over. And students, what they are doing in elucidate and substantiate, they are giving positive, negative and a conclusion. Conclusion and other things, suggestion and other things only in the areas criticality, not in other way. Okay, so writing mains you can use these kind of things. So while discussing further, the preamble, I said in the time of 1919, that was the first time the students realized that there is a point in the name of preamble is existing in India. Then if you are continually going there are so many people like Motilal Nehru who gave some kind of ideology regarding resolutions. But at last, on 13th December 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru, who passed an objective resolution to guide the Constitutional Assembly in what way we are going to make Constitution. That Constitutional Assembly's objective resolution gave certain guidelines to constitution makers in what way you are going to make the same ideology later but also modified with the help of the principles of preamble.
Sir, I have a doubt. In 1990 we didn't have a constitution. And as you said that preamble is the key to constitution. What was the need of preamble when we didn't have any constitution?
That time we don't have constitution, but equivalent to the constitution, every 10 years they will create one act. 1909. Then after 10 years, 1919, then after some time, 1935. So, 1909 onwards, the government is governed with the help of Minto-Morley Act. Then 1919, Montagu Chelmsford. So, Government of India Act 1919 to 35. They ruled with the help of 1919. When 1935 came, and 35 Act gave so many provisions. Till independence, we were governed by 1935. So, these act like a constitution to Indian people with the limitation. Every? Yes. Every act or every regulation or every legal provision you are giving, there the preamble, that is what we called as, if you are going to take any online material, the abstract will be there. On what way they are going to discuss the entire article. Like this manner, everywhere the preamble will be there in every legal ideas. But first time openly the word exactly the preamble came only at the time of 1919 Act, but in objective resolution, Nehru gave certain guidelines to the people of the founding fathers on what basis you are going to make, how the way the assembly is going to function. The same way, once we become a republican form of government, we also need certain kind of guidelines from various people, but various people is not good. So we took it something from United States of America in the name of preamble, but in while comparing with the USA's preamble and Indian preamble, USA preamble and Canadian preamble is having a narrow sense, and Indian preamble is more wider than Canadian and American preamble. That we will discuss today. Okay. So this is the most important thing. The way objective resolution as given by Jawaharlal Nehru to guide a people, based on that the Constitutional Assembly has created its own constitution, and constitution came in, and now we are having a constitution. This constitution definitely need a proper content in order to understand. So preamble is acting like a proper content. Preamble is acting like a key to the constitution. Preamble is acting like a searchlight to the constitution. In this basis, while moving into the preamble, and through Government of India, 1978, based on the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976, the Government of India did something in the name of socialist, secular and integrity. These are the three important words they inserted inside the Constitution, and there was a debate started. What is the necessary? This is not part of the Constitution. This is not inside the Constitution. Then why we need to make an amendment to change? A question came. For example, universal adult franchise is a legal right or constitutional right or natural right? There are debate existing everywhere inside. But how you will get the conclusion? It is legal or constitutional? If you want to change any legal act, what you will do? You are not satisfied with the Motor Vehicle Act. Then you will create another amendment in that act, or you will create an act, separate act to modify. If you are not satisfied with the constitutional rights, what you need to do? Amendment must be done. Okay, if it is a legal right, one law is necessary enough to change a age from 21 to 18. But 61st Constitutional Amendment Act 1989 only reduced the age of 21 to 18. Now you say it is a legal or constitutional right? Through the constitutional amendment, we modified the provision. So there is no doubt, but still the debate is going on. You can have a very simple, if it is a legal right, make a law and change. It is not by the law, by constitutional amendment, 61st constitutional amendment 1918, and only reduce the age from 21 to 18. There is no debate and discussion. It is a constitutional right. According to Article 326, universal. The Greek and Latin word is saying that right to vote and right to be a representative. In this case also, it is properly a legal right. Okay, good. It is also tells about the basic structure of the Constitution. Yes, very good. It is a mirror image of the Constitution. Preamble is giving some meaning to the basic structure. Preamble is giving, it's an image. What it is replicating inside the preamble and the mirror, we can able to simply say that the mirror is always give an image. So based on that, what is inside the Constitution, it is there in preamble. What is in preamble, it is there in Constitution. We can have the mirror image. But the most important thing, it tells about the basic structure. But no one knows what is basic structure. That is the most important problem. Very recently, there was a proposal. There was a debate and discussion also in order to fix about the concept of basic structure. For example, if you are seeing the question paper of 1819, every year for the past 3 years, you can able to find that granting aid not defined in our Constitution. One question came. Office of profit not defined in our Constitution. Another question came. So like this, some kind of questions are keep on coming there. Basic structure nowhere defined in our Constitution, but now and then, with the help of the doctrine of interpretation, Supreme Court of India will decide the basic structure in one case and revise the basic structure in another case and revise the basic structure in another case, but there is no conflict regarding the basic structure that like that manner. In Beribari Union case, you said one thing, I am revising into another case. In Golaknath case, you said one thing, I am revising into Kesavananda Bharati case, and that case finalized through LIC versus India case. So LIC and Golaknath is the Kesavananda is the final form. It is not like that. Basic structure, what discussed and defined in 50, cannot able to change it. They will modify it in a different manner. This is also basic structure according to the Supreme Court. In 1980, Minerva Mill case, that is also a basic structure. In 2018, some case, that is also a basic structure. Basic structure is not defined properly. It will depend upon the mood of the judges. It will depend upon the interpretation capability. It will go from one level to next level to next level, but all are similar.
But sir, there is a test which we can elaborate the basic structure of the Constitution, and that test only defines the basic structure.
So that is, even the court is giving some kind of a definition. They need some kind of solid substance in order to support their view. They can't able to give randomly like a philosophical principle. There is a clear understanding. If you are seeing that Kesavananda Bharati case, the doctrine of basic structure, and if you are seeing Justice Chandrachud, who was the longest serving CJ of India, more than 10 years, he also very clearly mentioned about the meaning of basic structure. Okay, so you wrote it down. That's a write it down something. Preamble. Preamble is based on, preamble is based on an objective resolution. Preamble is based on an objective resolution drafted DRAFTED and moved by MOVED, moved by Jawaharlal Nehru, and adopted by the Constitutional Assembly, on December 13, 1946, and 22nd January 1947. 22nd January 1947. Preamble is acting like source of Indian Constitution, but the real source of preamble, are the people of India. The people of India. So, preamble derives its authority from people. Derives its authority from people. While discussing about the nature of preamble, one can able to say that while discussing about the nature of preamble, one can able to say that preamble is having the principles of sovereign, S-O-V-E-R-E-I-G-N, sovereign, socialist, within bracket, 42nd Amendment, secular, 42nd Amendment within bracket, democratic, and republic. Okay, continue. With the help of objectives, these objectives, one can easily say that with the help of these objectives, one can easily say that the objectives of preamble is based on justice, liberty, equality, justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity, brotherhood, F-R-A-T-E-R-N-I-T-Y, fraternity, and finally, the makers of the Constitution adapted this one on 26th November 1949. Next point. The preamble of the Constitution of the USA, the preamble of the Constitution of the USA in a precise format, in a precise form, P-R-E-C-I-S-E, precise form, F-O-R-M, contains, C-O-N-T-A-N-S, contains, within quotation, a declaration and a descriptive objective, within quotation, a declaration and, underline, a declaration and a descriptive objective. This declaration is to the effect that the people of USA ordain and establish, the people of USA ordain and establish, the Constitution. The people of USA ordain and establish the Constitution for the United States of America. Okay, next point. Because this is the way you have to write your mains exam. In preliminary, simply question may come like this, not more than that. Maximum the possibilities. What is this integrity when they adopted? What is a socialist? What is a secular? Some kind of ideology? Or when the way the objective of preamble came into exist? Or through which of the following act the initiation of preamble came into exist? And from where the preamble borrowed? But in mains examination, we are having a very clear statement inside UPSC syllabus. From 2013, not even single question came. Anytime it may come in 19 paper mains at 20 mains. The comparison of Indian constitutional schemes with various countries. But so far, not even a single time UPSC asked a direct question regarding this one. Indirect questions are coming. So there is always a possibility. Then you can able to compare the most important feature of a constitution, that is preamble, with the help of that, comparing USA and India. There may be a separate question at any time. Okay, could write it out. Indian preamble serve two purpose. S-E-R-V-E. Indian preamble serves two purpose. First one, it indicates the source. Indian preamble serves the two purpose. First one, it indicates the source from which the Constitution derives its authority. It indicates the source from which the Constitution derives its authority. And second point, it also states, S-T-A-T-S, it also states the objects which the Constitution seeks, S-E-E-K-S, to establish and promote. What is the objective of the Constitution? Welfare and well-being. What is the philosophy of the Constitution? Fundamental rights and DPSP. Okay, very good. Next point. It also states the establish and promote. That's all. Which the Constitution seeks to, what the Constitution seeks to establish and promote, that preamble is giving meaning to. Okay. So it also states the object which the Constitution seeks and promote. What is the objective of the Constitution? Welfare and well-being. So what preamble is really seeking? How to achieve the welfare and well-being. So what is welfare? What is well-being? If you are reading basic NCERT starting from 6th to 12th and going to Lakshmikant, D.D. Basu, Subhas Kashyap, you will understand the basics. Because nowadays the questions are coming like this in mains exams. Only 1 or 2 questions, not more than that. After completely studying the constitution, you will get 5 to 13 or 15 questions in preliminary. And after completely studying the entire constitution book, you will get 1 or 2 questions from your mains exam. So you should be very, very alert how to approach the main. See all the 5-year question paper. Then you can have a better understanding that I need to always study the newspaper, not read in newspaper, study newspaper, connected with the polity, then you can able to answer questions. Okay. Welfare is nothing but, if you are seeing the government at the very beginning of the ancient time to till now, according to NCERT, we can proudly say that the Vaishali is the not one of the oldest republic in this world. Magad Janpata. And they elected their king through election, not by hereditary, not through monarchical format. Elected king was a forced ideology happened inside Vaishali according to 12th standard modern India NCERT. Whether you are right, it's right or wrong, NCERT is also final for UPSC keys. And if you are going a modern ideology, people will say that the Greek is the area, is always talk about the republican form of elected Senate and Congress. But after that, we can everywhere we can say that monarchical form of government only existing. Then monarchy is slightly changed into democratical form of government. Democratical form of government and their main duty to provide welfare, taking care of welfare of the people and take care of all the activities of the people by the way of taking care of the welfare of the people is the most important thing and objective of most of the things. So what is your welfare? From Indian point of view, I am having only 3 ideology. Kana, Kapada, Makan, shelter, food, shelter and cloth. So these are the 3 things I'm helping my people. So I am saying that I am a welfare government. But later part, the welfare ideology changed into in a different perspective. I need to give health insurance coverage to you. I need to give life insurance coverage to you. I need to take care of so many of your activity. So I am moving from minimum wage into living wage. Once upon a time in 1948, I proposed minimum wage for each and every people. And right now, I am giving Ayushman Bharat. So I am taking care of your well-being also. Well-being in the sense that health related ideology, welfare in the sense that basic need of the people. If I am combining your health perspective as well as your basic need, I can able to say that I have achieved the objective of the constitution. So the interpretation your mains are like that manner only. Then only you will be able to get. Otherwise, if you are writing textbook on ideology, everybody will write it. Everywhere it is available in market. Everyone is going to do that one. Ordinary mark, not extraordinary mark. Okay, good. Continue. The Indian preamble. A third one. Next point. Establish and promote. Full stop. Then come next point. As Indian preamble lays down, LAOS, lays down the basic structure of the constitution. The basic structure of the constitution. Which is not as such, which is not as such, S-U-C-H, as such, depicted in the preamble, which is not as such, depicted in the preamble of Canada and USA. Depicted in the preamble of Canada and USA. So, it can be included. So, it can be included that the Indian preamble is more structural. The Indian preamble is more structural than preamble of USA and Canada. more structural than Preamble of USA and Canada. Okay. The pivotal role of Preamble. You hear the word anywhere? Newspaper, Asia pivot, Indo-Pacific pivotal policy. Recently Motiji proposed Asia Pacific pivotal policy, Asia pivotal policy, something like that. Okay, but in international relations you will learn about it. Don't worry. The pivotal role of Preamble. Only two important roles the Preamble is having. The first role, it act as an interpreter of legislation and statutes. STATUES, statute. Legislation and statutes. Within bracket, Kasi Prasad versus State of UP. Bracket close and put a hyphen and write, even though Preamble cannot be used, to defeat the provisions of the legislation itself. Even though the Preamble cannot be used to defeat the provisions of the legislation itself, but it can be used as a vital source. It can be used as a vital source, 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 in making the interpretation of legislation. The Supreme Court of India very clearly said that what is the purpose, how the way you are going to use the Preamble. Okay, so we can use this Kasi Prasad. It's not necessary to mention about the case. But if you are mentioning, and while you are correcting your paper, next 100 paper is going to get affected. So that is the logic. Competition in the sense that the way you are writing, and after that no one will get good mark. You are spoiling everyone. That is competition. Okay. Second point. It also acts, second and last point, it also acts as a provider of authority. It also acts as a provider of authority to the Indian Constitution. Constitution is getting authority from Preamble. Provider of authority to the Indian Constitution. Provider of authority to the Indian Constitution. Okay. Next heading. A possible question for the coming years. Social welfare and constitutional responsibilities social welfare and the constitutional responsibilities of government. Put a hyphen and write. Make current analysis. Social welfare and constitutional responsibilities of government. Put a hyphen and write. Make current analysis. First point. And another most important thing while writing your mains, for cracking preliminary is not a much big issue. Generally people are saying like this, and their preparation is completely based on preliminary only. And after passing a preliminary, they are aiming for mains. That is totally a wrong statement. There is no preparation for preliminary and no classes for also preliminary. All on market things. Ideas are, once you complete your main syllabus very thoroughly, and your CSAT is extra. And other than that, what you are going to do for your preliminary? Nothing. Once upon a time, internal security is not part of preliminary syllabus. And the way you are going to study some kind of societal perspective is not part of your preliminary syllabus. And ethics is not going to come in preliminary. That's an area you have to take odd man out. But if you are seeing the question paper, at least minimum 2 questions will be there in current affairs wise in terms of internal security. Cyber security based questions, or money laundering based questions, or in simple manner border management based questions will be there directly. You can find all those information in your internal security class notes. Then if you are going to another area, every area like ecology, environment and climate change previously not part of your syllabus. Now that is also there in mains as well as preliminary. So take ethics out. Taking from paper 1 to paper 3, what you are going to study, everything will appear in your preliminary examination. And paper 4, last second part, probity in public life, probity in governance, that will also come in preliminary part. Some years before, UPSC asked a very simple question. What is social contract theory? Who gave the social contract theory? And they gave 3 persons' name. Hobbes, Rousseau. Okay. Where you studied? So you studied, law. Okay. Suppose if you are having sociology optional, you can able to understand. But the person who is studying general science, GS, and history optional, how he can able to answer this question? Okay. How he can able to answer this question? So the most important thing, the social contract theory generally will appear in 12th standard sociology NCERT, not in history, polity, economy. Who will study sociology NCERT? No one will study. But the society part you are studying inside mains. The social justice part you are studying in your mains will properly talk about the ideology of social contract. There you can able to understand about the ideology of social contract. This is the way a student need to connect everything in terms of preliminary as well as mains. You want thoroughly prepared mains, then your preliminary part will get over. So regarding this, tells about the basic structure of the constitution. I already told you, basic structure is not at all defined nowhere. But the basic structure is an ideology, is depend upon the judges of Supreme Court, the way they are handling the case. We can able to make the basic structure for one case is the uniformity. One size fit for all method is not applicable inside the basic structure concept. In Sangari Prasad case, I defined basic structure in this manner. In Golaknath case, I defined in another manner. But in Minerva Mill case, it gave some kind of foundation. I don't know, few years ago, when controversy regarding Nathuram Godse and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi happened, Supreme Court said that this is the problem. Such a long time it happened in India. So what we are doing that we are adding Gandhi and his image as the basic structure of the constitution. How you will define the ideology? Okay, what is Gandhi basic structure? You can't able to. It is depend upon the mode. That is why the basic structure ideology is getting some kind of reality and approval with the help of the doctrine of interpretation. Only the judge can able to, but not on random manner. The judge is having the rationality on the basis of the constitutional means only can able to define about the basic structure. So in fundamental right, I will discuss about a basic structure. No issue. Okay, I forgot to answer this question, that's why I repeat it. Okay, good. Come back. Where I am? Social welfare and constitutional responsibility of government. First point. Social welfare is a center of policy making. Center of policy making. From the law of independence. From the law of independence. But Preamble declares that India as a socialist country, is a constitutional proof, towards towards social welfare. Supreme Court of India, next point, in D.S. Nakara, N-A-K-R-A versus Union of India case. Nakara versus Union of India case. Defined socialism. Put a hyphen and write. The principal aim of socialist state. The principal aim of socialist state is to eliminate inequalities. In income and status, standard of life, full stop, the basic framework, F-R-A-M-E-W-O-R-K, the basic framework of socialism is, to provide a very decent standard of life, to the working people, and especially provide security from cradle to grave. So from our mother's womb to the way we are entering into graveyard, till that time it need to be properly provided security. Or the women are properly safe and secured in India? Okay. Whether the government is failed its constitutional responsibility to taking care of women. The fundamental rights are very clearly saying that trafficking against a human being, particularly child and women, even though it is there in our fundamental right, but while implementing the fundamental right, I am having some kind of difficulties, because the fundamental right, but Article 35, if I am properly checking that, fundamental rights are justiciable, enforceable, but all fundamental rights cannot be able to enforce directly. For enforcing fundamental rights, we need to make laws. That's another thing. So government failed in those areas. If it is critically examined, then you can use it. Otherwise, government is trying its level best. But in India, the police, people, judges ratio is not up to that level. We are having too much of population. So government cannot be able to take care of every individual of. So it is them to manage. Okay, all the things are there. Next point. Responsibilities of the state. Second condition, second part of the question. Responsibilities. First one is social welfare and constitutional responsibilities. That is a question now. Responsibility of the state to involve actively. Responsibility of the state to involve actively in social welfare. Responsibilities of the state to involve actively in social welfare, namely social and economic justice. Responsibility of the state to involve actively in social welfare, namely social and economic justice. Next point. Social justice. Next point, social justice. According to Supreme Court of India. Put a hyphen and write. Social justice, equality and dignity of a person. Social justice, equality and dignity of a person are cornerstone of, cornerstone of social democracy. Continue. The concept of social justice, which the Constitution engrafted, ENGRAFTED, consists of directive principles essential for orderly growth, and development of personality of every citizen. So here if you are seeing that social justice, equality and dignity of the persons is a very, very cornerstone of democracy, social democracy. We are living in a democratical country or not? Sure? No doubt in that one. Okay, good. So we are living in a democratical country. I started with the ideology. The government should be on the basis of electoral method, not on the basis of dynasty or hereditary. But sometimes the dynasty politics will enter into democracy. But anyhow, it is up to the people to reject the candidate or accept the candidate. We cannot be able to say that, okay, his son and his sons and his sons. It is totally wrong ideology. People only electing sons and daughters. It is their fault. It is not the government fault or other people. If the people keep on rejecting dynasty politics, then no one will keep the sons and daughters. It is the mode and the mindset of the acceptance of the people on the basis of the charismatic ideology. One charismatic figure and his sons and daughter also will be the quasi-charismatic figure, and his grandson will become the semi and very small charismatic figures. So this is the way the disintegration happening in India. This is the mindset of people who made everything. It is not the constitutional duty or the democratic principle of the government or country. So if you are seeing that social democracy, I said providing welfare is an objective of Indian Constitution. but whether really the government is providing the objective or not. At the time of 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, till 90s, the government is completely a welfare-based government. Providing welfare to my people is the main objective of myself. So I did everything in a practical manner. But in the modern times, LPG came into existence. Liberalization, privatization, globalization came into existence. During LPG era, everything has got diluted. The state, so far, acting like a godfather to the citizens, started slowly withdrawing from its activity. And the activity was withdrawn by the state, now fulfilled by private sector. So far, the state provide everything, the telecom, health sector, etc., etc. Now, state is reducing its activity. Private people are coming in to enter, and they are doing the job. So now I am having a question that this state is really having a welfare and well-being of the people according to the constitutional objective or not? A question started coming in one mind. And I find the answer like this: state is reducing its activity, no doubt in that one after the era of LPG, but state is acting like a moral agent. Their role of supervising all those private sector and whether they are doing their job in a proper manner or not, the moral responsibility and role of the government, is keep on increasing. Activities keep on reducing because these activities can able to done better way than government in certain areas by private sector. Those areas only government is giving to private individual. In otherwise, and government is having moral role whether these private people are properly doing their job or not. So as a constitutional state which is having welfare and well-being in his mind is introducing an ideology of corporate social responsibility. At the time of withdrawal of state, activities of the states going down, role of the state is increasing, and moral responsibility is also getting increasing. So I am introducing CSR in order to check whether the private people is doing their job, whether they are utilizing their extra fund to the welfare of the people or not. That is my role and activity, and activity is also a kind of way. And finally I am saying that still in the LPG era, the government is providing welfare and well-being to the people. Okay, but in a different direction. Okay, good. Next point. Under economic justice, they are doing responsibility. In that social justice, under economic justice, state would not make any distinction. State would not make any distinction among its citizens. State would not make any distinction among among its citizens, among its citizens on the basis of their possession of economic resources. Possession, P-O-S-S-E-S-S-I-O-N. Their possession of economic resources. Full stop and continue. Economic justice also needs the state to try to narrow down the states to try to narrow down the gap of GAP, the gap of rich and poor, the gap of rich and poor by distributive justice, in terms of income and wealth. So, final point, conclusion. To achieve the ideals of social and economic welfare. To achieve the ideals of social and economic welfare, the state is required, REQUIRED, to involve, state is required to involve in different social welfare schemes. In different social welfare schemes. Like different social welfare schemes like reservation for EWC, OBC, SC and ST. Now we have to add economically weaker section also, EWC, OBC, SC, STs. Comma. MGNREGA. Magnanaka enuna? MGNREGA. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. MGNREGA. It's a popular word now. It is not acronym or abbreviation. It's a popular word. MGNREGA. Comma. Midday meal scheme. Midday meal scheme. And SSA in education, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Shiksha Abhiyan, okay, SSA, you can, etc. Lot of things are there. Final point. So this is conclusion over. But suppose if the question is in a different way, critically comment and critically examine, you need to talk about some negative aspect. We always won't write positive things because questions nowadays, if you are seeing mains, 20 questions are coming, 20 into 12.5 and you will find 250 marks. Approximately 9, 10, 11 questions are coming critically examined. They are asking students to criticize the government. Through your way, it will reach in an appropriate place also. Okay. Like this manner. So next point you can write it down. Over, the answer is over. This is the proper format for mains examination. So in mains we are having some difficulties like this. This is for above margin, this is for below margin. This is for remark and this is for index. You are having only from here to here. Okay. This is the merger, another problem. And the questions will be printed here itself. You don't need to write a question. Previously it was word limit only. Now page limit also. Question will be printed here only, half page in the middle or here. If you are writing any answer beyond the question, then they won't calculate that question. So you need to limit everything. So in polity or any subject, always start with the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Seventh point, your page get over, you leave it abruptly. But if you are writing like an essay with the introduction and conclusion in proper way, in the middle if you stopped, then that answer is incomplete. You will easily identify it. So it's in a smart way you have to do, you have to approach question, not only word limit, page limit. If you are seeing all India topper for the past 2-3 years, they all are saying that okay, we wrote point basis and try to give formulas. Last few years, everybody gave diagrams, flowcharts. So now everywhere in the market, when I am correcting our paper, daily I am doing some kind of correction of my students' paper, I am finding that every student who is studying in college, first year also giving diagram nowadays, flowchart nowadays. And the same thing if you are having, yes, you can ask question, no issue. The same thing if you are having, then what is the difference between their flowchart and my flowchart? All are, but you need to use some kind of formulas. Based on the formula, if you are going to give next year, definitely you will gain mark. For example, I give one example. So this is simply an introduction. You can use it in any subject. For example, you can ask your question, no issue. The problematic thing right now in market throughout India in the name of land reforms. And people are giving suggestion to students. This is why I am saying, now the institution which is claiming number 1, number 100, number 2000 also, number first rank, everyone is giving a wrong idea. Why I am saying this? Land reforms is the question. But in market people are saying that you go to Bipin Chandra, their land reforms, some 43 pages are there. Or you just go to Ramachandra Guha, there some 400 pages are there. So if you have neck pain, you can keep it. Okay, you can use it at the time of neck pains. In Missouri, if you don't have any job, you buy Ramachandra Guha and read all those things. But everywhere the prescriptions are like that only. Read this book, that book, that book. Then only you will give respect to teachers. Otherwise, if I am saying Lakshmikant, you read, you won't give respect to teachers. Na? So, I won't suggest Lakshmikant. Ideal. Very simplified. So, the land reform is the toughest part. But people are giving a wrong direction. That's why I am talking. This is in paper 3, not in my area. I am just giving one example. Everybody is writing question in terms of land reform, and according to the way teachers prescribed them, they are going through land reform in the name of, according to Bipin Chandra, Jamindar Abolition Act, this act abolition, that act abolition. They brought land reforms, land ceiling act. Finally, we have achieved land reforms in India. Over. Very good answer. UPSC will, out of 12.5 marks, they will give 1 or 2 marks. Not more than. You don't know about, because there is a problem. Yes, some problem. Yes. Cause illness may come after census year. What will happen to those? Illness may came. Okay, no, because. No, the illness may came after census year. What will happen to the people means, illness mean what? Death? Maybe. Mortality, something like that. In census, they are going to calculate the number of people. Simple ideology. If you are not feeling well, you take rest in hospital or a home, your family member will inform you that my brother is there, my wife is there, and on behalf of the wife or brother or sister or father, someone is going to give. The enumerator is the one. Enumerator is the one. Usually come and collect data from door by door. Okay, it's not complete. Okay. So in the meantime, I will discuss land reforms. You just ask. Land reforms, people are keep on talking about abolition of various acts, starting from Bhumidan movement of Acharya Vinoba Bhave to till now. And you won't get the good mark, because no one is going to check their answer sheet. Wrong ideas are good ideas, because that is the easiest ideas. But if you are seeing land reform, the formula should be the first point. Like this manner, you create all points, all topic. There should be some kind of formula you have to create. I am only giving one example. Land reforms is equal to social equity. That's why you are talking about all abolition of jamindaris and other various things. You will get satisfied, and notes are available like that manner only, everywhere. But it is not social equity. Because if it is social equity, I usually give land reforms in paper 1 history. Post-independent consolidation. There I will keep land reforms in India, but I didn't keep land reforms in India in paper 1 or paper 2. We kept in paper 3, according to the syllabus, Indian economy. So how you will write a Jamindari abolition, social equity? This is not society part. But they are advising students, okay, you just refer, over. You also did it. You buy every market of material which is available and claiming number 1, you will find the same idea. But social equity, if you are writing, okay, 2 marks they will give, remaining 10 marks if you want to really get, it should be the land reform is equivalent to social equity and agricultural productivity. Then only your paper 3 area will get complete. 10 mark you will get additionally. Social equity, simply I will narrate some point in terms of historical perspective of Bhumidan movement initiative, so many things. Government did initiative, government did this initiative, abolished this act, they've tried to bring equality, everything is achieved. Then after that, agricultural productivity is the most important thing in terms of paper 3 point of view. If you succeed this productivity, then it is easy for us to achieve the land reforms in India, because once you are doing reform, the reform need to give some meaningful result to me. How I am going to get the meaningful result? That is agricultural productivity. Within bracket, agricultural productivity is nothing but, that is, people will probably say that Modi magic inside Gujarat. Why Gujarat farmers almost equivalent to Punjab and Haryana? They are rich, well enough and well equipped, because there is an ideology: water, seed, market. If you are getting fulfilled all these things, water plus seed plus market, automatically these ideas will help to achieve the concept of productivity, increasing productivity of agriculture. Along with your equality, social equity, in the name of land reforms in India, then you can able to achieve the land reforms in India. But all the materials are talking, land reforms means social equity. Abolition, bringing equality. But agriculture productivity in the sense that government is providing water to you very properly, but water get evaporated because of too much of summer in India. During summer time, evaporation, 25 to 27% of water get evaporated. Already I am having limited water, and in the 27 to 30 is going evaporated one, then what I am going to do with this 30, 70, 40, 50? Nothing. So what I am doing, Narmada canal is constructed, okay, well and good. Above the Narmada canal, in order to harvest solar energy, I kept a solar panel over it. Canal is completely covered with the help of panels, and now it is underground water irrigation facility, not open ground water irrigation facility. Water won't get evaporate. Water will reach 90%, 95% exactly, and I can also able to harvest solar energy. So double idea, I am saving water, harvesting solar energy, and in seed type I am giving a best things. A BT cottons are available inside Gujarat. They introduced first and they produced more, and Modi allowed these people to sell their market, sell their cotton directly to Chinese market. Market accessibility, seed variety very good, and water availability is also good. On the basis of that, your productivity will get increased, and already I achieved equality. I am having land and my productivity get increased. Within limited land, I am able to do so many things. Income, my farmer's income will get doubled before 2022 on the time of 75th year celebration of independence. That is called as land reform, not what we are discussing here. One another ideology is there, making solar panel in order to create underground canal irrigation. Have you ever studied in your geography what is underground canal irrigation projects and underground canal irrigation methods? We borrowed it from Middle East countries in the name of Ganata. Okay. So here question is, as the Ayushman Bharat scheme is being served to the people through SCCC, what will happen to people who have severe illness like cancer and their name or other data not in this SCCC? Is it social welfare or? Okay. So there is an ideology while discussing about, because while discussing certain diseases, we are having some problems also in India. Like the treatment like cancer, or according to Mission Indradhanush, the objective of the government to focus only on the 7 important diseases which predominantly exist everywhere. In that Mission Indradhanush, we are not including the treatment like cancer or HIV or something like that. These are the modern, the cancers of the ideology, cancer-based methods are totally different. Our government cannot able to afford that much right now. In 1978, the Alam Ata Declaration, 1978 Alam Ata Declaration, 2018 is a 40th year celebration. Directly last year mains question came about Alamata Declaration on Health. Everybody really shocked why UPSC asked this Alamata Declaration right now, because Prime Minister announced Ayushman Bharat, and Ayushman Bharat, there's an ideology originally proposed by the Alamata Declaration in 1978. During the declaration, entire world accepted, including India, we are going to give primary health care facility to every individual. But India only did the primary healthcare facility at the time of Ayushman Bharat in 2017-18 only. So during that time, how you implemented, what is necessary for you to go for this Ayushman Bharat? India signed 40 years ago the Alamata Declaration, and we promised that we will give primary healthcare facility to everyone, but not able to achieve. At last in 2017-18, he gave it. But while doing so, some criticism also came. He is not giving anything freely. According to the UN convention they gave, then what is the UN convention? Then you will Google it, you will find Alamata Declaration on Primary Healthcare, that India is also a signatory. So you have to make a note. What is Alamata Declaration on Primary Healthcare? Then you will find the 2018 mains question directly. It's a cut copy paste. It's nothing more. Some 2-3 points you can write. 12.5 point mark you will get it. So logic is that already we discussed in first class, classification. That classification you are not going to do on your own specialization. That came in question paper, newspaper, that the Ayushman Bharat is an ideology on the basis of Alamata Declaration. That not mention the year. If you are googling Alamata Declaration, why Prime Minister is connecting this one, then you will find it 1978, 2018 preliminary, 40th year celebration. So make a circle, double circle, and make a short note. Okay? So that's why I am saying don't read newspaper, try to study newspaper. My question is about inclusion of people in Ayushman Bharat scheme. Why government is not enrolling people in based on current illness rather than old socioeconomic aspect census data. So this is because that's why I am saying that the ideology is that the current illness is an ideology, or the modern illness is an ideology. We can't be able to afford to eliminate, because India doesn't have that much of capability, money value in order to spend their money on each and everything. Once upon a time in 1950s, I kept right to education is a fund directive principles. But after almost 40-50 years later, I economically got some freedom, so I went to the ideology of 6 to 14. But still now I am having an economic problem. But in directive principles, if you are saying that up to 6 I want to give education, but we don't have that much of qualified teacher to take care of kindergarten, LKG, UKG, so we don't want to give. We simply give education from 1 to 9th standard, 6 to 14 years. Because of my difficulty, I am not affordable like that. But if you are going to country like Switzerland and Norway and Scandinavian countries, they introduced very recently, few days before they introduced a time banking system. Their social welfare is totally different from our social welfare. My social welfare regarding this Ayushman Bharat or etc. is connected with the primary healthcare service I promised to provide at the time of 1978, not in 2018. So based on that I am managing myself. Mission Indradhanush only identified 7 important diseases. Already in 2010 we eliminated pulse polio, and later we promised that Kalazara. And finally in 2016-17, India proudly declared that maternal tetanus is completely eliminated from India, which induced an ideology of IMR, maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate. So based on that, Mr. Indradhanush came, and Indradhanush only identifying 7 important diseases, the rainbow diseases. So my capability is very limited. I can't be able to provide everything according to the current things. I am only keeping 1978, the Primary Healthcare Service Convention, UN Convention on Primary Healthcare, Alamata Declaration. Based on that, I am saying that not at par with the healthcare budget compared to BRICS nation. No. This is it will become a political things that comparing BRICS nation with India regarding education and healthcare, we are not up to that level. Once upon a time, before this government, I kept only 1.25% GDP, but right now I am moving into 2.45% of GDP in terms of health and education sector. We are gradually moving. We are not like Russia, who is having a huge energy supply. With the help of that, they can able to do everything. We are not like Brazil, who is having a lot of Amazon related ideology, and 20% of the world O2 is currently existing there, and potentialities also. South Africa is having large of resources, but India is a country is having poverty. India is a country is having so many other things on the border areas. So we are having certain limitation. Based on that, within this limitation, we achieved and we are in along with the BRIC nation. That is a positive idea. Okay, that is purely in governance area, if possible. I think this is a governance area. The health issues and challenges in governance as a topic is exclusively there. So we will discuss there. Not right now. I am coming back to the ideology. So if you have a free time, just go home and open the internet and use what is time banking, which is available right now in Swiss. Okay, these are the recent developments. Any doubt you are having? Now, according to the traditional things, who is powerful in India? According to Preamble? We the people of India are having the real power. We are having the real power. Okay. So, while continuing with my argument regarding this Preamble, I need to talk it with the first point, sovereign. We all are sovereign people here. You are not sovereign. Only I am in the class as sovereign because I am financially independent. I don't need to ask anyone's permission. You are still asking the permission from your family members. You are not at all sovereign. But once you get employment opportunity, you are sovereign, but not completely. The societal responsibility and societal pressure is also there. Then once you get married, then your husband will try to occupy you or suppress you. Once your sons and daughter become aged and you become elderly person, then they will try to occupy you. So this is the way a man is a social animal. He need to also depend on so many people. In practicality, sovereignty is not at all existing. But according to the theoretical ideology, we are saying that the countries and individuals are sovereign. With the help of the Preamble, the sovereignty means without any kind of external influence, without any kind of external pressure. If the person who can able to take decision, who can able to say that I am completely having the sovereignty. So this is the meaning for sovereignty. While making decision, while doing activities, there should not be any kind of external pressure. The person who can able to take completely on the basis of their own, not with the help of someone's influence. Why we want to insert the ideology of sovereignty here? Because at the time of independence, India was completely under the yoke of Britishers. Indians cannot able to do. India is completely under the colony of United States, United Kingdom. So Indians cannot able to do anything on their own. So they were under the severe strain and fear. So once we got independence, we very clearly mentioned that the sovereignty is an ideology not only for the country but for the every individual. If you are having a sovereignty inside your country as well as a country as a whole, then you are completely running on the basis of democratical principle. Sovereignty. Then socialistic ideology. 42nd constitutional amendment, through that Indira Gandhi brought the ideology of socialistic principle here in India. But even before that, there was a query regarding the capitalistic ideology and communistic ideology, where India is going to align with them. And India very clearly said that we don't want to align this capitalistic method as well as communistic method. We are going to align a new method in this world in the name of non-aligned. Then after this non-aligned, at the beginning of 1971, India abandoned this non-aligned principle under the pressure of United States of America as well as United Kingdom. They were combinedly about to attack India after 1971 war. So India abandoned the non-aligned. India went to USSR. India signed a treaty of cooperation and friendship with them. After that, it became a compulsion that we are going to follow the ideology of socialism, because Nehru and the Nehruvian follows until 1970s never and never want to use any kind of socialistic ideology or communistic ideology or capitalistic ideology openly, and we said we are practicing socialism. But the moment you sign an agreement with Russia, Indian foreign policy tilted, and after that India started doing so many things, and finally in 1976 Indira Gandhi through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act inserted the word socialism. Socialism is nothing but neither you are in the capitalistic mode nor you are in the communistic mode, but according to the need you will take both of things. People at the larger level, at the higher level, will give new definition for socialism in terms of Western's point of view. But Indian socialism is the one is totally different from Western's point of view. Here the ideologies are socialism in the sense that we will give importance to state, and the state like United States of Soviet Russia will provide everything to the individual. The state is the one who will take care of all the need and the necessary of the individual, but at the same time, state is having some other important things also they will do it, that is giving importance to private properties also existing here. So in America, capitalistic mode, private individuals and private properties are more. In Russia, state is everything, commune, common ideologies are existing, but in Indian socialistic principle, in some time we will give importance to capitalistic private individual ideology, and another time state will take care of everything here. Here Ambani is also permitted, and the government also permitted to do their own responsible areas, or to do their own welfare related activities. This is the way and this is the method the socialistic principles are saying in Sri India. Because Indian socialistic principles are differ from the socialism as an ideology in USSR. The way I am going to discuss next point, you will have some better understanding. The moment you are talking about socialism, immediate question will come, and that also added through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, that secularism. Are we a secular country? No doubt in that one. But some people are saying that pseudo-secularism is existing currently. Minorities are not safe in India. The queries are coming like this, but you should not write anything like that. Our ideology in terms of civil services wise, not to create debate and discussion, simply follow the constitutional schemes and programs. That is the most important things. So according to them, secularism of India is totally different from Western secularism. In West, countries, state will completely terminate their affairs of religion. The state will separate religion separately, and state is different and religion is different. There is no connection, and there is no, at any point there is a single connection regarding state and religion in Western area. But in India, we won't support one religion, we will support many religion. In this way, state is connected with the religion, but not in one majority religion. State is connected with every religion. If you want to say that how India is a secularist country, when people want to go to Hajj Yatra before last year, the state gave subsidy to them, but later they realized that Hajj Yatra should be in your own hand, own money. You should not borrow money to anyone for going to Hajj Yatra. Finally they realized it, and they said to the government that we don't need the subsidy from the government. It's a kind of ideology, it's against Islamic principle. You have to save money. Once you have money, with the help of that money only you need to go to Hajj. Not, you should not get money from anyone in the name of lending and borrowing.
But state still supports it in terms of residence and everything.
The main ideology I am saying that in terms of Hajj Yatra now, but previously we supported. Suppose if someone who want to follow some ideology, some people who want to follow certain things, A Hindu community who want to go for Manasarovar Yatra, Kailashnath Yatra, they are getting some subsidy from the government. The Christians who want to go to Jerusalem, the Jews who want to go to Jerusalem, they are getting subsidy from the government. And the Parsi community, they are the least number. They are having less than 50,000. Government is saying that right now. Still, if there is an everlasting flame inside France, every year or once in 2 years, they usually conducted to symbolize the ideas and culture of Parsi community throughout the world. Whoever the people from India, from Parsi community, who want to go to the everlasting flame exhibition, Indian government will sponsor them. It is the way Indian government is supporting each and every religion equally, not indifferently. Every year, if you are seeing that budgetary allocation through annual financial statement, there will be a money for Nai Rojini scheme, there will be a money for Nai Mansil scheme, there will be a scheme for Manasarovar and Kailashar, and there will be a scheme for the Christians towards the Jerusalem Yatra, and there will be another scheme for some people for the everlasting flame. This is the way the religion is not separated from Indian affairs. India won't support one religion. India will support multi-religion. So religion is part of Indian society. It is totally different from Western ideology. Okay. Then if you are continuing with the democratical and republican form of ideology, there is no doubt in that. Inside Asia and in this world right now, India is the most populous country and most populous democracy. In 2027, we are going to be the #1 country in this world in terms of population. And 2040, we are going to be the most populous country in this world, and 1.4 billion Indian people will have, and 1.1 billion China will have in 2040. There was a data recently came in newspaper. So based on that, we can say that India is the most populous democracy in this world in terms of number. So the Indian government is having a democratical mean. What I discussed so far, the government is having a social responsibility through the welfare related ideology, and the government is also having a constitutional responsibility in order to fulfill those responsibilities. So there is no doubt that in that area, the democratical principles are properly existing inside Indian society. But the moment you are going into the republican form of ideology, the moment we got independence, India never and never want to go the methods like the citizenship of Commonwealth, who generally accept the crown as the head, monarchy as the head. India said we are ready to associate with the Commonwealth Citizenship Act and Bill, but not in terms of the hierarchy. India will elect their own nominal head as a president, and we don't no longer need the crown as the head of the state. But still, if you are seeing a country, a democratical country, the best democratical country in this world like Australia and New Zealand, they are having crown as a representative head of the state, and the crown will appoint, still now appoint Governor General to New Zealand and Australia. Their ideas are different. We said we are completely going to the republican form of government. We are abolishing monarchy. Monarchy should not come and rejuvenate themselves at any time. So we are dissociating completely our relationship with monarchy. Based on that, a republican form of government came into on 26th January 1950. India proudly acclaimed and announced that we are going to be a republican form of head under the presidency. Why 26th January instead of 24th, 25th, 28th or something like that? Why 15th August as an independent day instead of 14th or 18th or 19th August? It is a lucky day for Lucy Mountbatten or Mountbatten or Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Why 15th and 26th? Because nowadays the questions are coming. These are the old pattern around 98 to 2001. This same pattern is existing in 17, 18, 19 question. It may come again in 2020 also. Like the way they asked National Park and other related ideology, some rules and regulation, act and principles. The same principle exists in 98, 99, 2000, 2001 to till 2003. That same kind of pattern is existing in 17, 18, 19 preliminary. It may come in 20 also. So the question may come simply like this. What question you asked? 15th August. Because on 15th August 1945, Japan surrendered before United Kingdom, not before United Kingdom, the Royal Admiral on the Eastern Fleet, Mr. Lord Mountbatten. Before him, Japan King Emperor surrendered. So he want to keep the day as the most remembrant day. Japanese definitely is not going to celebrate. Even if UK want to celebrate, their population is less than Delhi metro population. So what is the usage? Delhi metro population or Indian railway populations are more than United Kingdom population. So they want to keep it the 15th August as an Independence Day because his life is connected with, and 26th January, that is a life connected with the Indian. On 29th December, well, they are going to celebrate, they will going to present the Indian National Congress. They announced that on next year, 26th January 1930, if they are not giving complete independence, we need to celebrate our Independence Day on 26th January. The Indian National Congress adopted, yes, someone is celebrated, very good. 26th January was celebrated the first Independence Day. The Indian National Congress celebrated the day as the first Independence Day, but in the meantime, Congress banned, all the leaders got arrested, so not able to celebrate during the time. They completely banned the Congress, but the day they want to keep it as a remembrance day. So in 26th January, they make it as a Republican Day. Because British gave Independence Day according to their own, and Indians made Republic Day according to their own on the basis of the Indian National Congress resolution. Very good. On other ideologies also. For example, 12th January you are celebrating National Youth Day in order to remember Swami Vivekananda's birthday. And 28th August you are celebrating National Sports Day in order to remember Dhyan Chand, Captain Dhyan Chand and his contribution towards sports. And 1st July you are celebrating National Doctor Day. P.C. Paul was a very popular doctor inside West Bengal who helped at the time of independence also. So his day is considered National Doctors Day. And November 14th, everyone knows the Children's Day. But February 14th, I don't know why. That is totally a different ideology and different things are existing. Okay, good. Then if you are seeing further, there are few important words we need to discuss. Justice, equality, and liberty and fraternity. We are going to discuss about the first word, justice. Justice is an ideology, is borrowed it from where? According to the previous classes. Where we borrowed justice? You will say, okay, I will keep it A, B, C, D. Justice is an idea. So justice is an ideology. We borrowed it from USSR, and this justice method is having some kind of specific ideology of the equal social justice, economic justice, and political justice. A SERP method. A social justice. I want to bring all people equally. At the time of independence and before that, Gandhi was humiliated inside South Africa because even though he had the first class ticket, he was an Asian. Asians are not permitted to sit equally with Europeans. He had thrown out of that one. And dogs and Indians are not permitted to use this Taj Coromandel or Ashoka Sherton or etc. during the time of British Raj. They treated Indians equivalent to dogs. So the once I received independence, they also want to eliminate certain things inside the society in the name of stratification of caste system. So bring everybody into the equality. The social system also came into exist, and economic justice and another most important thing. In India, the haves is keep on becoming more haves, and the have-nots is becoming more have-nots. So economic justice, to bring economic justice, in 1961, on the basis of 1951 census, the Dandaiwala Rath Committee was appointed by the government of India, and this Rath Committee first time defined the ideology of poverty line inside India. So on the basis of the Dandaiwala Rath Committee, poverty line how we can able to divide in order to bring economic justice to the people. He said, okay, 18 rupees and 12 rupees is more than sufficient for these people. 18 in urban area, 12 in rural area. You are rich, you are above poverty line, you won't get schemes. You are having 17.75 say, you are poor, you can able to avail all those things. But in modern times, the Suresh Tendulkar committee after 2003, they proposed, okay, I am upgrading from 1960 to right now into 21st century in the name of 35 rupees and 32 rupees. If you are having 35 rupees, you are all above poverty line, no schemes for you. 34.55 say, you are poor, all schemes will be available you. Something like that they divide. But some people in India is getting 35 crore as a monthly salary as a CEO of Sun Networks. But government still saying that 35 rupees in urban and 32 is in poor. So it is not trying to bring equality in terms of economic justice. So thus I am saying that the rich get richer in India, the poor get poorer in India. In order to engulf the gap between rich and poor, the government is trying its level best to bring the economic justice inside the society by the way of redistributing of wealth, redistribution of material, redistribution of resources in all the way. It is existing inside the constitution, but simply in the name of directive principles of state policy, not as a fundamental right. That is a problem right now in India. So directives are not enforceable.
So what are the measures that the government is doing in this area?
Economic justice. So they did.
Simply they could increase this 35 to 100 or at least 200. Why not they do that? Rather than taking all of the measures, they can simply increase this so that those poor can have access to those schemes. Why, at the name of this economic justice and this policy, why are they creating such numbers? They simply can increase this 35 to 235 to 500.
500.
Example, I'm saying, like 100, 200, 120.
For fixing the 35, some kind of rationality is existing. Not simply on the basis of, okay, I say Modi, I will keep 15 lakhs to every account. It is not like that. I don't have any evidence that he said that. That is different story. While fixing this 35, the Suresh Tendulkar committee completely went under the rationality on the basis of that 1 rupee if you are having, you can able to get 1 kg of rice inside the ration shops inside India. 3 rupees 3 kg, 1 rupees 1 kg, 5 rupees 8 kg, some kind of logic they put it. So according to that, if you are going to the nearest ration card, so ration shop, show your ration card and you will get rice for 1 rupees and wheat for 3 rupees, something like that. So sugar for also for subsidized way and kerosene is also for subsidized way. So you just live in the side way and you do all the things. So 35 is more than sufficient. That is a calculation. They want to do it with the help of the rationality, the poverty line defined by Indian people at the time of 1960s. So after having everything, you will have extra money in your hand. But for you, it is very different because we are running air conditioning in our house, electricity in our house. So I need to pay electricity bill for them. Right now, according to the Delhi government, less than 200 units if you are consuming, you are not at all ready to pay any money because you are poverty. If someone is having 300, 500, 800, 1,000, 20,000, so it is, you all are rich. You are running air conditioner continuously. So that is the logic we are using. The economic justice, social justice and political justice. The political justice in the sense that the moment we got independence, India don't want to distinguish anyone. They said universal adult franchise is the very most important ideology on the basis of age. Nothing more than that. If I seeing before 1920s, well, that was the first time election happened in India through Government of India Act 1919. When Government of India Act 1919 gave provision for the direct election to Indian people, they kept certain condition, the educational qualification, the land holding, and what about the tax provision you are paying to the government. So I am removing so many people from the list. So India got independence. The moment we got independence, we said there is no disqualification. Everybody is permitted irrespective of the race, caste, gender and other various provisions. 21 is the only condition you can able to come for voting day. And another most important time, when we got election first time in 1920 on the basis of this above ideology, first time a country like USA, Australia, Switzerland, even though they got independence at 1780s, and Switzerland always an independent country, they gave voting right to women almost 500, 800, 900 years later. But when I got independence in 1947, on the first fine day I announced that universal adult franchise will be there in India. So that much of uniqueness India is having in order to provide the political justice, economic justice. To bring economic justice, government right now is trying at least in the name of MGNREGA, minimum 100 rupees per day, per person. And if 3 people are working inside a family, all 3 can able to earn 300 rupees, 400 rupees or something like that. On the basis of that, I am having some kind of inequality. You are female, I am male, and I am getting 100 directly, and they are not giving 100 to you female, they are giving only 80 rupees, and middleman is taking 20 from me because I am thinking that male and female physically not fit, they are not equal. If they are working in whole day, but male will do more job, 100 rupees, female will do less job, 80 rupees. Then government realized that inequality. Immediately government proposed a direct benefit transfer scheme, DBDS. According to the direct benefit transfer scheme, now you are having account in your hand, Jan Dhan Yojana. The government provides Jan Dhan Yojana to provide economic justice. Everybody is having Jan Dhan Yojana. You are doing MGNREGA. So government of India is sending 100 rupees per day directly to transfer to your account. No middleman, no inequality, male, female, working hours of same, 100 rupees will be given to you. That kind of logic and ideology right now they are having in order to provide economic justice and social justice. Everyone knows the reservation as given by the government. In terms of economy right now they realize that okay, upper community is also having some problem. Bring everybody inside the category of reservation. So this is an ideology in terms of justice. We borrowed it from USSR. Okay. Then going to equality. Equality is a questionable point always irrespective of a democratical country or as well as other various countries. For example, people are going to worship God. You are having money. Give money and directly go in front of God. And I am not capable to do that one. I am standing in a queue for past 1 day continuously. I need to travel, and next day early morning I can able to visit Tirupati Devamala temple. Huge crowd. But if you are ready to pay money, you can directly bypass all the crowd and go to that place directly. So, what kind of equality I am having? The problem is there. So, equality in the sense that the government is trying to bring, but the mindset of the people is also different. The stratification of the society is not permitting equality inside the society. Mentally, I am not fit in order to give respect to another person. So that is also a problematic area. We can have some kind of best example. Last year UPSC in mains examination they asked equality is is not in proper manner. The way the cow panchayat is existing, honor killings are existing in the society. So it is not kind of equality. Still somewhere an inequality is existing. Equality in the sense that it is not in terms of economical, political and social. Equality in terms of all, because equality is connected with the psychological part of the human being. If the person is treated unequally such a long time, that at the end he will completely abrogate from the society and he may be a terrorist or Maoist. So that is the most important reason why according to 12th 5-year plan, because of this inequality, 12th 5-year plan is saying that out of 610 official districts in India, 289 districts are infected either directly or indirectly by Maoism. So 289 district collectors are not safe. In that 100 to 80 worst Maoist affected areas, according to 12th 5-year plan, not on my own way. And out of this, 12 states out of 29 is totally infected with the help of Maoism. Why Maoism? Because there is an inequality is existing here. That is the side effect. We brought it after the ideology of 73rd, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. Panchayat Raj came into existence. When Panchayat Raj came into existence, there is a problem inside the society also, that the common property resource, CPR, the resource went to municipality, Grama Sabha and other area. Their inequality came. Who can able to use this land? So far, who use this land? Adivasis, tribal community and rural population. Collectively they use this land. This is the best place in tribal area. You can able to say that communism is a 10% was exists inside India, inside tribal area, not in USSR or China, in India only. The way the common property resources, everybody need to work equally, including the tribal leader and the local person. Once things done properly at the time of harvest, that leader will really act like a leader and he will divide the property equally according to the number of family members inside your family. So this is the way, this is the way the things are happening in India. So this is the most important thing, equality. Equality in the sense that, so inequality happened, common property resources has taken from my hand. So I went to the collector. He said, no, I am busy. I am not able to reach my collector. Then I went to area commander of Maoist. They said, I am always there. You keep this LED in your hand. Whenever you are seeing red light cars, you keep it inside and just walk through the road. No one is going to disturb you. You are a citizen of India. There is no difference between the citizen and Maoist. All are in look-wise same only. So Maoism become a very prominent because of inequality. Till now, that is a problem. Government not eliminate Maoism. Finally, in 2009, the Prime Minister announced in Red Fort that it is not China or Pakistan is a real danger to India. It is the Maoists. It is the internal security. It is a real danger to Indian people, not outsiders. Because people are dying more, not in border area, inside India, daily basis 12, 10 CRPF and various security forces are dying inside India because of Maoism. Inequality. If you bring equality through the land reforms in a very, very practical manner, then you can able to achieve everything. The best example, since independence till now, only one successful land reform movement was done by West Bengal government after Naxalbari movement completely eliminated by the police forces in the name of Operation Barga. Barga. There was the only successful land reforms movement in 1972 brought by West Bengal government after they are seeing the mass surge in the name of Naxalite and Naxalbari movement. That is also regarding inequality and equality, land related issue. That time we identified the failure of the government in order to eliminate the process of equality and inequality. Still we are not able to learn any lesson. That time Naxalbari, now it is Maoist, ideas are similar, but in a very violent manner, the Maoism is happening because of inequality. More number of people on a daily basis, they are joining inside this Maoist. So that is another worrying trend rather than Kashmir or a China issue. Okay. Then if you are continually going like this, you can able to discuss something in the name of fraternity and liberty. Fraternity is nothing that all Indians are my brothers and sisters. This is the way I need to give respect to my fellow citizens. Nothing more than that. A universal brotherhood which is existing inside the Aurobindo Ghosh, Aurobindo Ashramam, inside Puducherry. They are having that universal brotherhood principle. At least only in Puducherry it is existing. Another way, generally we won't say, but in practicality, the way we are giving due respect to each and everyone inside the class as a fellow citizenship, as well as my brother and sisters. So if you are treating like this, there won't be any problem. It's purely a philosophical ideology, universal brotherhood. And after that, if you are going to liberty, is an ideology, they borrowed it from France. Justice, USSR. Equality, liberty, fraternity, simply they borrowed it from France. France felt the feeling of inequality. They suppressed such a long time. Finally, the breakdown of Boston jail completely revealed and gave a courage to the people. 1789, French Revolution came into existence, and French Revolution gave some kind of ideology. Based on that, they brought some kind of new method in the name of equality, fraternity, and liberty. And liberty in the sense that the way you are having some kind of inner feeling about yourself is the most important thing. Liberty is not which is coming from outside. Liberty should be come from inside. So the way you are having that inside feeling, based on that, you can able to excel in your life. Okay. Just noted some points. Now to support yourself, just note it down. Sovereign. SOVREIN. Sovereign. Put a hyphen and write. One liner only, not more than that. Only one liner, you can write. Independent to decide your own foreign policy. To decide your own foreign policy. To decide your own foreign policy. An individual policy. Socialist. Follows democratic socialism. Follows democratic socialism. That is a specialty about India. Democratic socialism, where both public and private sector, both public and private sector coexist. Both public and private sector coexist side by side. Coexist side by side. Socialists follow democratic socialism, where both public and private sector coexist side by side. Republic. Put a hyphen and write. An elected head of government, elected head of state. An elected head of state. Equality. To treat all equally through Article 14 to 18, Article 325 and 326, Article 325 and 326, within bracket, political equality, and DPSP, Article 39, particularly Article 39. Then the liberty is a sense of feeling. It is a sense of feeling to enforce individuality. Liberty is a sense of feeling to enforce individuality. And the justice to making things done, to make things done in social and economical and political way. In social, economical and political way. Okay. And any other point I missed it? Then, next below you can write down some points. According to K.M. Munshi, M-U-N-S-H-I, according to K.M. Munshi, Preamble is a horoscope, H-O-R-O-S-C-O-P, is a horoscope of our sovereign democratic republic. Horoscope of our sovereign democratic republic. According to Thakur Das, Thakur, T-H-A-K-U-R, Thakur Das Bhargava, B-H-A-R-G-A-V-A, Bhargava. Secular, I missed it. Okay, I'll say secular. Bhargava. Preamble is most important part of Constitution. Preamble is the most important part of Constitution. Comma. It is the soul of the Constitution. Comma. Soul, S-O-U-L, soul of the Constitution, comma. Key to the Constitution, key to the Constitution, comma, a jewel set, J-E-W-E-L-S-E-T, a jewel set in the Constitution, jewel set in the Constitution, and act like ACT, act like a yardstick, yard, Y-A-R-D, stick, S-T-I-C-K, measurement, yardstick, Y-A-R-D, S-T-I-C-K, with which, yardstick with which one can measure the Constitution. It is a yardstick one can able to measure the Constitution. And last, Ernest Becker, Ernest, E-R-N-E-S-T, B-A-K-E-R, B-A-K-E-R, Becker. It is a keynote. Preamble is a keynote, K-U-I-N-O-T, keynote to the Constitution. Keynote to a Constitution. Next point. In Beribari Union case, in Beribari Union case, Berubari. B-U-R-U-B-A-R-I. Berubari union case. B-U-B-E-R-U-B-A-R-I. 1960. Berubari union case 1960. Supreme Court concluded that Supreme Court concluded that preamble is not part of Indian Constitution. Preamble is not part of Indian Constitution. And next, Kesavananda Bharati case, K-E-S-A-V-A-N-D-A-N-A. Kesavananda, K-E-S-A-V-A-N-A-N-D-A. Bharati case, 1973. Supreme Court said that, Supreme Court concluded that preamble is part of Indian Constitution. And preamble can be amended. Can be amended. But no amendment to its basic structure. Next point. LIC of Life Insurance Corporation. LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India, case 1995. LIC case 1995. Supreme Court again confirmed the verdict of Kesavananda Bharati case. Final point, conclusion. Preamble, the current opinion, preamble is part of Indian Constitution. But it is neither source of S-O-U-R-C-E-S, source of, nor restriction to, neither source of nor restriction to power, neither source of nor restriction to power. It is non-justiciable. It is non-justiciable. Okay. And previous point, secularism, I missed it. Secular ideology. Indian secularism, previously I missed some point. Indian secularism is different from Western secularism. Indian secularism is different from Western secularism. In Western countries, religion is completely separated from state affairs. Religion is completely separated from state affairs. But in India, government is not in favor of one religion. Government is not in favor of one religion, but in favor of every religion. But in favor of every religion. So, religion is not separated from state in India. So, religion is not separated from state in India. That is Indian secularism. State in India. That is Indian secularism. I have not completed. That when we discuss about one model answer like social welfare and constitutional responsibility, I said that is a model answer for put your mail contact. Okay, mail contact. Okay. So while discussing about this particular idea, the answer I gave within the word limit. If any doubt, you can also call me or message me. loy.s.ignatius@gmail.com. So any query, anything, you can contact me. Okay. So the way we wrote an answer for this one is simply in order to discuss about the social welfare and responsibility of the government. So that is within word limit. Suppose the question is critically analyzed, then you need to check how the way the social responsibility and social welfare got changed after LPG era. So that you write it separately. That is the answer. So at the extension of the answer, if it is critically examined, some few point you can able to write it. Social welfare and responsibility, the current analysis. In that last part, the conclusion part, you can write it down separately if it is critically examined. After introduction of LPG. After introduction of LPG. After introduction of LPG. The social welfare concept. The social welfare concept got diluted because of negative impact of neoliberal economic policies. Neo, liberal, liberal, economic policies. In the following way. First point. It increased the rich-poor divide. Within bracket, top 10 people is having 52% of national wealth. Now they are saying it is increased up to 80, 90. I don't know it's correct or wrong, but according to data, top 10 people 52% of national wealth, and bottom 10% of people 0.21%. 0.21%. And bottom 10 is having bottom 10 is having 0.21%. Second negative impact, it neglected the area of agriculture. It neglected the area of agriculture. Third, devastation of devastation of small scale countries. So, devastation of small scale industries. Small scale industries, micro, small, medium scale enterprises, industries. Fourth point, ecological damages. Ecological damages. Fifth point, regional disparities in development. Regional disparities in development. And last point, financial inclusion. Financial inclusion. A distant dream, put a hyphen and write, half of the population does not have bank account, comma, 90% of the population have no access to 90% of the population have no access to credit or life insurance coverage. Credit or life insurance coverage. It is bottom 10 or bottom. No, 10 people are having okay, bottom 10% of the people. In above it is bottom 10, top 10 people. Here bottom 10% of the people. 90% of the people have no access to credit or life insurance coverage, and 98% have no participation in the capital market. 98% of the people have no participation in the capital market. That is India. In this condition happened because of LPG era. So this is the way the situations are happening. Any question you are having? No, we need to ask now. If anybody is having any question, you can ask. So tomorrow I will start with the fundamental rights. So if you have time, you can refer fundamental rights also, so you can ask more number of doubt and interact with me. Okay, if you keep on listening one person's voice, nice, and you will get irritated. Yes. And people are at the early morning, 7:30 is the early morning, and I don't know when you got up. So 4:30, 5 o'clock. So we will always do savasana inside the class. So better. Any question, anybody want to ask anything, please ask me. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.